ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। संजय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः। श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् कीर्तिकरमर्जुन। क्लैब्यम् आस्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते। क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यम् त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप। अर्जुन उवाच कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन। इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हौ वरिसूदन। गुरो न हत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यमपीह लोके। हत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान्। न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः। यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः। कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः। यश्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्चोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमृद्धम्। राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः नयोत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः। तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च अनुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परं देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषऋषभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः अनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Vedasya ekavakyata. Generally we say all the Vedas and Shastras are talking about only one thing. That is Sarvam Brahmaiva. That is why any Shastra you think you will get something new. It will all be telling the same thing. Okay. You would have thought, okay, at least come to Kena Upanishad, something different, it will be there. Only it starts differently, but content is the same. Okay. In Gita also, Bhagavan keeps telling the same thing. Sarvavyapi. So don't complain. Every time I am just saying consciousness is, right? Because, in fact, this Punarukti, again and again telling the same thing, redundantly telling same thing is considered a dosha. Okay. Whatever is already said, you typically don't keep telling the same thing. But in the case of Vedanta, it is considered a bhushanam, because this is durvijnaya vishaya. And Bhagavan himself says that, Shankaracharya also says that, durvijnayatvat, because it is difficult to understand, you keep telling the same thing in very different ways. It's like your meditation, right? Every day you can't have a new meditation. Or Gayatri Japa, you don't do the same, you do the same thing every day, right? Similarly, Vedanta, see, we try to make it interesting by giving different prakriyas, whatever, so that it works. But the entire Veda is only talking when it comes to Atma Vishaya. It's only one thing. Okay. So that is why it is generally said, it's a ekavakyata. So however you look at it, it just comes to the same thing. Now, these 4 verses are very interesting, because if you see how Bhagavan suddenly he switches, right? He started, see, initially he just spoke about Asocyan and all that, Matra Sparshastu, which are very basic things, right? Then he directly jumped into what is Atma. Through this, Nasato Vidyate, Bhavaha, Nabhava Vidyate Satha. Now, if you see the next few verses, if we can look at the text, right? See, he is using Sarvanama here, okay? Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam. By that, which everything is pervaded. And what is that? That is where we are going with, right? So here he says that he uses just he doesn't say Brahman or Atma, anything like that. He says you understand that to be Avinashi, by which everything is pervaded. So that is what this verse says. Look at the next verse. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashinaha aprameyasya tasmad yudyasva bharata. Aprameyasya sharirinaha is what he uses. The one who indwells in the sharira. Okay, we'll see in detail, but I am just asking you to focus on how he is using just the pronouns, right? So next one, if you see, ya yenam vetti hantaram, yascha yenam manyate hatam, ubautau na vijanitaha, na ayam hanti na hanyate. This thing which you see, you understand, this means what? Whatever is closest is this, okay? Again, he uses the word this, okay? He doesn't say Brahman or anything. He says, whoever knows this as being killed or the killer, both of them don't understand that this does not kill or whatever, right? Again, if you see the next one, na jayate mriyate va kadachit na ayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajaha nityaha shashvataha ayam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Again, he uses ayam, he uses, so basically 2 or 3 times he uses ayam, okay? So what basically is, I'm trying to say here is, he has left it very open, okay? This, okay? That is where different philosophers have looked at it in different way, okay? Can we look at it as Deha Vyatirikta Atma and all that? But interestingly, each one of these verses, he looks at that whatever he calls as this in a different way. In the first verse, he says is Sarvavidam Tatam. It pervades, whatever is this, is pervading everything. Okay, he says that. In the next one, he says this is the Shariri, this is the indweller of this body. Okay, so that means what pervades is also the indweller. So that he is saying, right, he is using the same Sarvanama continuously. And then he says, that which you are knowing as the Sarvavyapi, it can neither be killed nor it is a killer. That means it's neither subject to action nor is it the one who is acting. Okay, so the Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam is dismissed here, right? I am not enjoyer of something, or I am not an object of action, nor am I subject of action. So he dismisses both. Okay. Then finally he says, na jayate na mriyate va kadachit, which means it doesn't lend itself to any change. Okay, so in a sense he has defined what Brahman is, right? Brahman doesn't change. Brahman doesn't do any action. Brahman is not an object of action, and Brahman pervades everything. So these are the definitions he has given for Brahman. Now from this, if you want to really, the pursuit is to understand Brahman, right? Generally each one of this word itself leads to Brahman only. Okay, when this in Taittiriya Upanishad, the Brahma Lakshanam is given, saying Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Now, one interesting discussion Shankaracharya picks up, okay, there. He says, is it like Neelam Mahat Sugandhi Utpalam, a large blue fragrant lily, suppose you say. So there, lily is the substantive. So there are 100 lilies which are there. I want you to go and get me a blue, large, fragrant lily. Okay. So look at the 100 lilies, then you will say of which 50 are large. Okay. From that 50, then you will look at 30 are blue. Right. And of the 30, there are 3 which are fragrant. Okay. So you go and get those 3. That means each adjective is limiting the group. So it's basically doing a subset and then you are bringing something. So can we say this whatever is Satyam and Jnanam and Anantam is Brahman. So first you take all the Brahmans, from which 10 of them will become Satyam Brahma, another 5 is Jnanam Brahma out of which, and from which one Anantam Brahma can you bring. Okay, so he addresses this question. And then he finally concludes, see that's a long discussion, he concludes saying each one of those words by itself lands only in Brahman. So if you define Satyam as Yadrupena Yadnishchitam Tadrupam Navyabhicharate Tat Satyam. So Trikala Abhaditam is Satyam. In all 3 points in time, what stays the same is what is Satyam. Okay. Once you have defined Satyam like this, nothing else fits this definition except Brahman. Okay, so as pursuers, now what do we do? You look out, what doesn't change in 3 points in time? Look at the world, right? You won't find anything else. except the one Satsvarupa, which is your Swarupa. Everything else changes. Anything you objectify undergoes change. In fact, time keeps changing, everything, right? In time, Kalo Sarva Bhakshakaha, it is said. So, one will die in 2 years, another thing dies in 100 years, mountains may go in thousands of years, planets may go in millions of years, right? So, everything gets eaten away in time, and everything keeps changing in time. There is only one thing which eats time, which is Brahman. That's why Shiva is called Kala Kalaha. He is also called Kala Ari, because he is the one who eats time, because on him only time rests. Okay. Because like we saw, it is in the awareness that the time exists. So we are not within time. The time is within us. Okay. But we only see time. Right? So it is the same thing. So what I am trying to say is, the moment you define Satyam like this, Satyam leads to Brahman. Okay. Similarly, Jnanam also leads to Brahman. Jnanam is a word like I think Jaishankarji was saying, consciousness if you say, and there also there is a very interesting discussion in Taittiriya Upanishad. What is Jnanam? Janati iti Jnanam, Jnayate iti Jnanam. So he takes multiple meanings for Jnanam. Okay. Is it like a Vritti Jnanam, or object which is known, or is it the thing that you are objectifying and your mind's Vritti, which is actually the knowership, is it the Jnanam? So all those discussions go on. And finally he concludes saying, Nyaptihi eva Jnanam, the very essence of the content of your thought. That is consciousness. Okay. Consciousness is not about being conscious of something. So being conscious, being aware is actually a Vritti. But what is the content of it? On what the Vritti takes place? That is what is called Jnanam, Nyaptihi. So what I am trying to say is, each of these words, once you focus on them, any one word, if you understand its true meaning, you would understand Brahman. So here again it's the same thing, right? When you say Avinashi, what is Avinashi in the world? It's the same thing, right? Avinashi means what? That which is bound by time, right? Vinashi means bound by time. Avinashi means that is not bound by time. Okay, it's like, see, there is a Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, there is a word, right? Even Purandaradasa in Jagadodharana, he writes Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Smaller than the smallest, larger than the largest, means what? There cannot be anything like that, right? That means it is beyond dimensions, okay? It doesn't come within the bounds of dimension, this is what it means, okay? Same thing with time. So, the one which is beyond time is Kala Kala, right? Within time you can't eat Kala if you are already within Kala. So it's like, what is after time? How will you answer? The moment you say after, which that after word itself is within time only. It's like, what is outside space? The moment you say outside, that is also space only, right? The inside and outside are both within the concept of space. Okay, so if you are out of the realm of space itself, that you can know space, what space is, right? So here, Avinashitu Tadvidhi, Yena Sarvamidam Tatam, we saw this. Vinasham Abhyayasya Nakaschit Kartumarhati. We have seen this, right? The next one was we were seeing Antavantai me dehaha. Antavantai me dehaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Anashino prameyasya. Anashino prameyasya. Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Okay. See here, see one very interesting thing. For dehaha is a plural. Okay. So there are many dehas. But this sharirin is a singular. Okay. So is based this antavantaha, anashinaha, aprameyasya, nityasya, sharirinaha, of the shariri, who is aprameya, who is anashi, who is nitya. Of that means there is only one Atma, right? If there are many Atmas, you cannot have a singular there, right? Ime dehaha antavantaha. All these bodies which are lighted up by the singular Brahman, which is anashinaha, which is aprameyaha, but these bodies are nashavan. Okay, that's what he is saying. Dehaha antavantaha. Uktaha tasmat bharata yudhyasva. So just go and fight, because see, this Yudhyasva also again Shankara takes up saying, is Bhagavad Gita asking him to fight? Okay. Is he enforcing that you have to fight? Okay. But actually he says no. Okay. He was anyway already going to fight. He knows the dharma. He was just disturbed. It's like saying, right, somebody comes to a Swami and says, I want to become a sannyasi. Okay. If you ask why, because I am unhappy with my wife, she is fighting all the time, right? This movie, Kasiki Boham, Sannyasi, Kudumbama. So, the person, what will the Guru say? No, just go and live with your wife, grow, mature first, and then we will see, right? Or somebody says, I have a son, I need to grow him for this. Another example, Swamiji gives, right? I need 12 more years to grow him. I don't have that much time. I want to take sannyasa. You say, no, grow and come back, right? Because it is not when you want, again, like I was telling in the morning, if you are running away from something, that is not a solution. You will go there and be thinking of the same thing, right? So the growth should have already happened, like Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat only, right? So, Urvarukamiva Bandhanat, okay, Mrityoho Mukshiya. So Swamiji, people used to ask Swamiji, when should I take sannyasa, right? See, you are saying if I fight with my wife, you won't give. If I have work to do also, you won't give, right? So when should I take? Because there is a problem. See, we used to live in ashram, right? Not everybody who took sannyasa was mature. If 20 people take sannyasa, some 5 people will have problems, right? Because they would have taken sannyasa because of some allergy, something, right? That somebody would like people prostrating to them. Somebody would have had some anger. But they are still like, in their mind, they are still not grown. So usually what Swamiji says is, you continue studying Vedanta. Whenever you think sannyasa is not necessary for you, okay, if you feel it, you don't need it, then you take. That means you are mature. You don't need sannyasa in order for you to live a sannyasi life, right? So that is what he used to say. So, I don't know why I went there, but Antam Devya Nityasyokta Sharirinaha Anashinaha Aprameyasya Yudhyasva Bharata. Okay, that's where I was saying. So, Shankara says, he's not enforcing him to do. But since he's not yet mature, right, he's not ready to leave Yuddha and then be a sannyasi or something. That's what he said. Bhaikshyam Bhoktum Ihaloke, it is better, right? So Bhiksha Jivanam, in those days when Varna system was there, only Brahmanas, Brahmachari and Sannyasis can do Bhiksha Jivanam. If you are a Grihastha, you can't take Bhiksha. You are not entitled to do. You can only give. So if Arjuna is asking for Bhiksha Jivanam, Shankara says he is asking for Paradharma. Okay, he is not qualified to do. So he is asking for either sannyasa or he wants to do a dharma which he is not supposed to do, right? So that is why Krishna here says, you are not yet mature for sannyasa. You still, you are in the varna where you need to wage war, right? You are coming out of the war purely because of some mental disturbance, okay? And that is because you think people will die, right? So he is basically saying, that is not, you don't need to worry about that, right? In fact, in Vishwarupa is going to say, whether you want it or not, they are going to die, okay? He will show the Bhishma and Drona and others dying and then getting into Krishna's mouth, okay? That he gives that vision. And Shankara also gives that meaning there, saying that Yedi Vano Jayayuhu, he asked here, right? So, will I win or will I not win? So, Bhagavan is showing that you are going to win, right? But he is also showing that all these people, whether you want or not, they are going to die. So he says, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. You are, see, already the bow is already started. You just have to touch it, it is going to hit them, right? That's what it is. So in the big scheme of things, you are just playing one part, okay? So look at it like that, right? So what is the message for us is, even whatever we have to do is also given to us. It's a see, we can't say, why am I born in 2023? I should have been, some people, we all have that thing, right? We should have been born in Krita Yuga. This whole world is everybody is corrupt. So we all script, right? So, because, see, that is a wrong, see, maybe we were born then, right? If there is rebirth, we were probably born then also, no also, right? So now we are in a situation, Bhagavan has given us this birth, right? And from Prarabdha we are sitting and listening to this. So it's not easy, right? Everybody once, you won't even have a mind disposition to listen, right? Whatever you can, even 10% you are gaining, that's also still big. So we have been given a responsibility. That's the Karma Yoga today, because Swamiji used to define this very well, right? See, this, again I have to tell this, nothing against Paramacharya or anybody like that. But there is a belief that, exactly what Krishna told only you have to do, like there is Varna Dharma, this, that, right? But in today's context, if you have to do all that, see, karma, what he is speaking about is only Vaidika karma. So, which means now you have to go back to your Varna and then you have to do Homa and all, right? But it's not practical, right? So, today is a world which we have moved a long way. So, Swamiji used to say, you should understand there is a spirit and there is a form in everything, right? The spirit has to stay. The form can change, right? So, what is the spirit here? The spirit here that Bhagavan is saying is, look upon everything as Ishvara, and what you are supposed to do, you submit it to Bhagavan and then do it with the prasada buddhi. Whatever comes, you take it as Ishvara prasada, right? There's another thing, people think that, don't expect results and do action, that is Karma Yoga. Without expecting result, how will you do an action, right? If I throw the ball on the wall, I expect it to come back, right? Without that, why would I throw the ball on the wall? So, I can't do an action without expecting results. So, what he says is, irrespective of the result, offer it to Bhagavan. Now, one is if you can do a Varna Dharma, that's a different thing. But if you are in a situation where you are not able to do today to the extent it is required, how can you still make it a Karma Yoga? That is how we have to look at it, right? So, now, this is the problem when you refer to some big acharyas and all that. See, that's why I am saying it is nothing against, it's point perspective, right? So we are just looking at it, saying whoever can. No, class. Let's continue, I'll talk later, okay? So that's why this Yudhyasva Bharata is just an Anuvada, because he is already fighting. Krishna is saying you should fight, right? You shouldn't leave it. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta saririnaha anashinaha aprameyasya tasmat. This sharirin, the one who is the shariri, whose instance all the actions are going on, he is anashi and aprameya. He is not available for objectification. That is prameya. The thing which is known to you. Okay. So it is evident to you. All things are become evident to you. Okay. The only thing which is self-evident is you. Everything else become evident to you. Your own knowership becomes evident to you. Your doership becomes evident to you. Things outside become evident to you. Your emotions become evident to you. So all these are evident to you, but you are self-evident. Okay. That is why it is aprameya. So the pramata swarupa is aprameya. Okay. So he says anashinaha aprameyasya sharirinaha dehaha antavanta. So the shariri is not antavan, but all the dehas, okay, upadhis, they will come and go. It's Ishvara Srishti, right? In Ishvara's niyati, in Ishvara Srishti, things keep on happening. So you are just witnessing it as the Swarupa. That is the approach. So until that is the attitude by which you see. So until you gain that knowledge, then you look upon everything as Ishvara. I am one of the Jiva, and I surrender to Ishvara, saying that all this is your own Leela which is going on, and I play my part. So more and more you do that, you become qualified for this jnana. Okay. So that's where bhakti comes into play, right? Recognition that everything is Ishvara is the highest bhakti. See, Ishvara is one person somewhere is okay, it's also a bhakti. But the moment you realize that I am not separate from Ishvara and all that is here is Ishvara, and what is happening is all Ishvara niyati. Okay, so that is the highest state of bhakti, right? So you lend your own existence to Bhagavan. So that means it is the more and more, like I said, more and more you give space to Bhagavan, the less and less you are, right? So that is one of the qualifications for you to become jnani, right? The more bloated your ego is, the more difficult it is for you to gain this jnana, because this jnanam is trying to falsify you, right? So doership is falsified in the sense, I recognize, see, even a jnani, when the person has to do an action, has some kind of a doership. When I am riding a bike, you should know I am only riding the bike, right? Whether jnani or ajnani, that's not. But the reality of doership is dismissed in the person's mind, right? So basically, this essentially it eliminates guilt and hurt. Okay, that is the effect. That is what we want also. That is the result we are looking for. So antavantaha ime dehaha nityasya sharirinaha anashinaha aprameyasya sharirinaha dehaha antavantaha. So only the bodies get destroyed, Surupa does get destroyed. So you don't have to worry about whether Bhishma is dying or Drona is dying. All of them in Surupa don't die at all. Okay, that is the verse. Okay. Yayenam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. I will give you the anvaya for this. Yaha yenam hantaram vetti cha yaha yenam hatam manyate ubhau tau na vijanitaha ayam nahanti nahanyate. Okay. Yaha, the one, yenam, this Surupa, which is the self or Atma or Brahman, whatever you want to call, hantaram vetti, is seen as the doer. Okay, the one who sees this as the doer, doership as an inherent quality of this Swarupa. That's what it means. Yaha yenam hatam manyate, the one who see this body, this Atma, as object of action, being killed. Okay, basically being killed is a lakshana here for any being becoming a object of action. Okay. Ubhau tau na vijanitaha ayam nahanti nahanyate. Both of them don't understand that this Swarupa neither does an action nor becomes an object of action. Again, how do you, so this verse, what we should do, look at what fits this bill. That's what essentially we have to do, right? What is it in the Jagat, in your understanding, fit into the bill saying, it neither, see, he's not talking about this mic doesn't kill or doesn't get killed. Obviously, when you say this doesn't kill, he's talking something related to your Swarupa, correct? See, there is, otherwise it's a redundant statement. He's not going to say the wall is not going to kill or wall doesn't get killed, right? So he's obviously talking about something about you as a human being. So which of you doesn't? So your body obviously gets killed, right? If somebody kills you, right? And if you kill, your body is actually doing that, right? So he's not talking about the body. Nor is he talking about your mind, because mind is involved in that. Nor is he talking about your ahankara, the eyes, what is ahankara? Ahankara is not pride. Ahankara is identifying me as an individual. That is what the word ahankara, not the body. Me as an individual, right? So that is the source. So when we generally talk about evolution of how the whole from Brahman to thing happens, right? The first step is Ahankara. First I need to identify as an individual. Then only all the Kama, Karma and also what I want will happen, because only after I recognize myself to be an individual, right? As opposed to everything else in the Jagat. And that Ahankara is the basis. On top of it you have Kama, Karma, Kriya and all that doership, everything comes into picture. That Ahanta, the one who identifies, he is also part of the killer or being killed, right? Because Ahankara means I identify as an individual, and that individuality is involved when I go and kill somebody. Now, what is beyond all that, which doesn't identify itself as the individual or the mind or the body or the prana, is the one Bhagavan should be talking about, right? And what is that thing is where the vichara is, okay? Once you understand that, then you understand the Swarupa, right? No other way these verses can be interpreted, right? How else Bhagavan can, I don't know how Dvaitis will interpret this, but it is very clear, because between these 2-3 verses, one is Sarvavyapitam, he spoke, Now he is like speaking there is not, lending itself to doership and enjoyership, right? Okay, so the other one I wanted to talk about here is Pramanya Buddhi, right? Okay, so this verse and the next verse, right? This Yayenam Veti Hantaram and Najayate Mriyate. These verses are lifted from Kathopanishad. Okay, mostly, generally it is a slight modification of Kathopanishad verses. Okay. Why did Bhagavan have to do it? Generally is a question asked, right? He could have put it in his own words, right? So, either Bhagavan or Vyasa, it doesn't matter, right? So, obviously Bhagavan didn't give the Vipadesha in form of verses, right? So, you don't tell Arjuna that Yeye Namveti, that's not how Krishna would have told. So, he would have advised. So, Vyasa has written these verses, right? Now, why did he have to do these verses? Okay, directly lifted from Upanishad. Because Upanishad, that is where the initial discussion we had, Shruti Smriti, right? So, the Smriti is valid only if it follows Shruti, that we already said. Because it's Apaurusheyam. Shruti is Apaurusheyam. There is no Purusha involved there. Smriti is the recollection of a mind, human mind, based on whatever Shruti has said. This person has written this, that is Smriti. Now, the Smriti gains its validity because of Shruti. So, to show that these two verses are seen something like a witness. So, I am showing two verses from Upanishad directly just to tell you that this, what I am saying is aligned to Upanishad. So, Vyasa is giving a message that this is Smriti and it is totally aligned to Upanishad only. That is why this becomes a Pramana. These are direct lift, okay. So, there also, though, see it fits here because this is also about killing and all that. There also that context is there, so it is used. So, it is used here. So, that's why I was saying this is a Pramana Grantha Upanishad is directly referred to here, okay. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Najayate mriyate va kadachite. Ayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Here also he uses the pronoun I am, this. Okay. I am kadachit na jayate. Va na mriyate va. Okay. It is neither born nor it dies, right? Va bhutva na abhavita bhuyaha ajaha nityaha shashvataha puranaha Sharire hanyamane ayam na hanyate. Okay. So this forever is not born. It is unborn. Okay. So again we have to say the same thing. Birth means something didn't exist before. It has to come into existence later. Or it could take a different form. Right. So for example, seed gets born into a tree. So it's called Dvijaha, Dvijanma, right? So for example, teeth is Dvija. Because once you are born with teeth, then it falls off, again it is born. So it's twice born, right? Similarly, birds are called Dvija. First they are born as eggs and then they are born from eggs, right? And so similarly, generally whoever gets an Upanayana is considered twice born. Because once they are physically born and then they are born into the dharma, right? So, this birth means either you are not there before and come into existence or you have changed from one to the other, okay? So, both of this is not possible here because there is no avayava. There is never a time when Brahman was not there because for time to exist you need Brahman. So, which means it hasn't been born in a point in time. Okay, since it is not born in a point in time, it is not going to die in a point in time. So there will be never a time when Brahman doesn't exist, right? To say Brahman doesn't exist, somebody has to exist. Okay, that is Brahman. Okay, so it's like saying Shunya, it doesn't exist to say that Brahman has to be there, right? Whatever exists is Brahman, right? That is how Brahman is defined, right? And that is not inert, because inertness, like I said so many times, inertness to exist, it has to be lighted up by consciousness. So only thing that can exist is consciousness, otherwise you cannot say exist word itself. Okay. So na jayate na mriyate kadachite na yam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. So again, this is all shadbhava vikara. It is dismissing. Okay. So something, it is neither born, nor it grows, nor it changes, nor it slowly diminishes, nor it gets destroyed. Because all this need avayava guna. Okay. When you say something changes, it should have a guna. It looked like this before, now it looks this way. It used to be black before, it has become white now. So it had 4 hands earlier, now only 2 are left. Okay. So it needs to have avayava or guna for something to change. Okay. That which doesn't have any avayava, that which doesn't have any guna, which is nirguna, niravayava, shuddha, swarupa, which lights up everything, itself cannot be function of change. Okay. Therefore, ajaha, it is unborn. It is nityaha, it is always there because it is beyond time. It is shashvataha, it remains the same without undergoing any change. And puranaha, it is ever new, is how it is Swamiji interprets. Puranaha also means it's the oldest because it is beyond time. But it is also the newest, like I said the other day, because the reality of anything is the present. Okay, there is no past. Past is in your memory only. So the Brahman is always fresh. That's why it is Satyojataha. Every moment it is born. Okay. So it is Puranaha here is used as ever new. Okay. Then Sharire Hanyamane Ayam Nahanyate. Even though the body is gone, the Upadhi is gone, the Swarupa doesn't get destroyed. Let's see if there is any vichara here on that. Okay, this Kartrutvam, Karmatvam, there is one discussion. In fact, it will be better if we talk about it in the next one. See, this sannyasa discussion is very interesting. Okay. Now the question that comes, there is a Atma Akarta discussion is there. Right? So, typically one question is raised. There is, Bhagavan talks about 2 kinds of sannyasa. Okay. There is a karma sannyasa, there is a sarva karma sannyasa. Okay. Karma sannyasa is physically leaving the karma and taking sannyasa. That is, we can do it as a vividisha sannyasa or vidvat sannyasa or whatever. But most of the places Bhagavan is talking only about sarva karma sannyasa. Sarva karma sannyasa is leaving the kartrutvam. That is the only. So sarva karma is given up only when kartrutvam is given up. Okay. So here wherever Bhagavan refers to sannyasa, it is only about sarva karma sannyasa, which is about jnana sannyasa. So like Janaka and kings and other people who were into thick of action, but in their mind they were free. Okay, because the doership has been proven to be false, because it doesn't exist on its own. So that is called jnana karma sannyasa. But a sannyasa also is spoken about, right? That there are 2 types of sannyasa we say. One is vividisha sannyasa. The other is Vidvat Sannyasa. Vividisha Sannyasa is Veditum Ichcha, the desire to know. So why did they have to give Sannyasa, right? Is it because today I don't know how much relevant is Sannyasa. But in those days, when the Varna system was there, people were enjoined to do duties. They cannot give up their duties because Veda itself mandates karma. Okay. Which means Nitya karma has to be done. Naimittika karma has to be done. Whether it is Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or whatever it is, everybody has set of duties. In fact, they all went to Gurukula. See, Krishna also went, Sudama also went, Rama also went. Everybody went to Gurukula to learn Veda, right? So there was no discrimination there. So irrespective of the varna, maybe I feel they would have learnt, somebody would have learnt, Astra Shastra, somebody would have learnt how to do yajna. So what is the point in Rama learning how to do yajna, right? There's no point, right? So he would have learnt that part of Veda which is relevant to him. But then everybody went, right? They were enjoined some swadharma to be done by the Veda itself. Okay, and Veda says akarane pratyavaya. If you don't do it, you will get pratyavaya dosha, you will go to naraka and all, it says, right? Now, Veda itself has to free the person. Otherwise, the person will not feel that I can go and study whatever, right? This pursuit needs the total person. Okay, you need to be available fully. Then only it will work. This is not like a hobby, right? Weekend classes won't work. Okay, honestly, I mean, so because we were all there for 3 years. Okay, from morning to night thinking about this, doing vichara on this. It's the same thing over and over. See, that's why Swamiji used to call this is increasing clarity. Initially, something you will feel like little bit I understood. Once you go back, that will also be forgotten. Next time you come, you will be little bit more you have understood. Then little more, because it's the same thing over and over. You keep, see, when we talk about Atma and all, your mind goes back to that, right? Even for us, we keep teaching. That's why Swamiji used to say, you keep teaching, right? See, you leave a gap of 3-4 months and you are not self-studying. Also for us also, it is there behind somewhere at the back of the mind, but it's not available, right? So you need to keep teaching so that you always, that's what is called Nishtha. Either you can do a Nididhyasanam, sit in a place and do Nididhyasanam. But easier way is teach. No? Once you teach, you have to study for teaching, and you are also talking about it, right, all the time. So as listeners, you keep listening, so it slowly, this clarity keeps going up, right? So what I am trying to say is the person has to be fully available for this jnanam to work. Okay, the person has to be committed. He or she has to be an antevasi, sitting, and then when our time there was no cell phone, there was no internet. Our time is not very far off, 95 to 98 only, but still those days there were 90 till 2000 we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have internet, there was no distraction. Only thing is we will go to a newspaper room for 15 minutes in the morning, that's all. Otherwise, whole day we were into this pursuit only, right? So that person has to be fully available. That is why when somebody is emotionally ready, the Veda itself had to release that person so that the person go and pursue this. Because the birth itself is for this only. No, you did all this karma so that you become mature and gain jnana. Otherwise, why were you doing all this, right? So moksha only this whole birth. Otherwise, what is there? Animals are also born, they also have children, they also feed them and then grow them, right? So, but human has been given this brain and the mind to understand ourselves. So, because I have a self-recognition, I can have a self-knowledge also, right? Like we discussed. No, that is what this life is for. So, when a person becomes qualified, the Veda itself has to release that person to pursue this knowledge. Okay. So, there has to be a formal, that's why Shankara contests throughout his bhashyas that sannyasa is allowed. He keeps arguing. Because Mimamsakas, in his time, they used to say that karma cannot be given up. Okay. So he had to establish that what is the point in keep on doing karma, right? Because if I am not even interested in phala, why should I be forced to do karma, right? So that is where the sannyasa as a vidhi sannyasa was emphasized. That is called vividisha sannyasa, vidhivat sannyasa. And then there is a vidvat sannyasa. When somebody has become jnani and the person is not interested, the person can continue if the prarabdha is there to do his duties, or if his mind is always in nishtha, then he can take sannyasa, is what is prescribed. Now in the next verse, right, so we'll see in the next class, there is a, Shankara links this sannyasa to that verse. The verse is Veda Vinashinam Nityam Yayena Majam Abhyayam. We'll see in the next class, but I'll just quickly run through this. Katam sa purushaha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. What it says is the one who knows this Nitya, Avinashi, Ajam, Avyayam, Atma, how does that person go and kill somebody or have someone get killed? Okay. This can be looked at in two ways. He said the person identifies with Brahman, so he doesn't do, is one way to look at it. But the way Shankaracharya takes it is, the one who knows what the Swarupa is, that is a person only, no? That is a Jivatma. That Jiva who recognizes that this Atma doesn't do this, why does he go and do a karma? That's how it is interpreted. So this place he uses to say, Bhagavan is now saying, a person who understands, recognizes Brahman doesn't need to do karma. Because this lens gives scope for it, right? Because the one who knows this Avinashi Atma, why is he going to do karma is a question that he is asked, Bhagavan is asking. So that means a jnani doesn't need to do karma is clearly coming out, right? So he does a very beautiful discussion to establish that this verse establishes that sannyasa is Bhagavan Krishna's matam is to take sannyasa only for jnani. Is how he discusses this. So we'll see in the class tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So in Purnamadaha, the Shanti, this is because it's Shukla Yajurveda, right? You don't say Shanti, you don't say that, you say Shanti. Shah has to go down. Shanti, you have to say.
Yajurveda.